So we have to approach this with kind of a very big motive, which is kind of seeing through everything, not just being free from one particular issue that's painful, but we want to have a moment of insight where at least momentarily, we glimpse a kind of a radical expanse that's free from everything. That's why we're doing this. So in order to do that, it does take discipline. We have to apply a degree of discipline and say, well, for now, whatever my particular thing is that I'm hung up on, we're all hung up on one thing or another, aren't we? Yes. Aren't we? I am. So we all have things we're hung up on, right? Yes. Isn't that true? Yes. But the thing is, we want to take out this time to say, okay, for now, these little things that I'm hung up on, rightly or wrongly, we want to say there's something more important than this or that, and we want to look, cultivate the capacity for a deeper experience of insight, an insight that's not relative, but that has to do with, in this case, the nature of the mind itself. So we can experience a much deeper insight into the nature of how it all works. Because the thing is, all that stuff that you're concerned about is going to be there when the retreat's over. It won't go away. So you don't have to worry about it. You have plenty of time to dwell on that. But but the thing is, you won't necessarily have the same opportunity you do now that a retreat environment like this provides to be able to see through the mind itself. So what you want to do is be more interested in that and having that kind of experience and that kind of insight and clarity rather than being preoccupied with whatever it is. Okay?
Yes.
But it's hard. I agree with you. It is hard, but it's really worth it.
Thank you.
What?
Thank you.
Well, that's what helped me. I never got over my problems or obsessions or whatever it was. I just actually became interested in something deeper and bigger than them. And that's what changed everything for me. See? So it's kind of a shift of attention. So we're all hung up on one thing or another, and and that's, it'll go on to a greater or lesser degree as we mature as people. But the idea, in the way I'm teaching, is I try to get people interested in something more profound, more significant, more ultimately relevant and real than any of these personal hang-ups. And I tend to think that because we don't get interested in things in things that have greater value, we tend to blow out of proportion the significance of our personal hang-ups. You know what I mean? So my solution to neurosis, right, to the postmodern condition of being a neurotic person, and most of us are, to greater or lesser degrees neurotic people, is not really to deal with the neurosis head-on, ideally, but to get people interested in something that's much bigger and more important, so that the neurotic issues are rendered much less significant than they used to appear to be. So now, because we're interested in something much more real, much more important, much more relevant, that stuff is just not so problematic anymore. We realize that it doesn't really matter as much as we thought it did before. That's how I approach teaching. What do you think about that?
Sounds good.
As a strategy?
Definitely a good strategy.
It's a good strategy, right?